Hi, I'm Marianne Georgakis of Energy Products Distribution. Today we're going to discuss the concept of visible light transmission and how it is used to determine if a particular film meets its given state's tint law. This is part of EPD's University video series devoted to help furthering your success as an EPD partner. Visible light transmission, also abbreviated as VLT, refers to the percentage of the sun's visible light that passes through a material. In our case, those materials are glass, film, and the combination of film installed on glass. As I just mentioned, VLT refers to a percentage, a number. So the higher the VLT of a material such as glass, the lighter the glass is. The lower the VLT, the darker it is. The same is true for a film. The higher the VLT of the film, the lighter the film, and vice versa. VLT is an important term for multiple reasons. First, it is most often the physical characteristic by which a film is identified by its manufacturer. When you see a number within a film's product name, that number typically refers to the film's VLT. For example, 3M ceramic IR25 has a 25% visible light transmission. 3M ceramic IR50 has a 50% visible light transmission. Second, VLT is a component to how a window film will look and perform when installed on a window. It will dictate the darkness of a film, how much privacy the film offers, how much glare is reduced, and how much total solar energy is rejected. Finally, VLT is the dominant physical characteristic by which a film meets or does not meet a state's tint law. It is this final point that we're going to discuss in more detail. There are two main types of state tint laws, and one is more prevalent than the other. A few states have a film tint law, whereby the film itself out of the box must meet a certain VLT. However, most states have a net tint law, whereby visible light transmission of film installed on a particular car's glass must meet a certain VLT. Let me explain in greater detail. Here is a roll of ceramic IR25. We measure the VLT of it with a tint meter. The tint meter is measuring the film's visible light transmission at 27.5%. Now, if you remember, I previously stated that VLT is a physical characteristic by which a film is identified by its manufacturer. So then why does ceramic IR25 not measure out to 25%? Well, that's because we're not taking into consideration the VLT of ceramic IR25 once it's installed on a car's window. Let's see how ceramic IR25 meters when installed on a car window. But before we do, let's meter the car's glass by itself. The glass by itself meters out to 73.5%. Now let's meter ceramic IR25 installed on that window. Notice how it meters to around 25%? You see, the film by itself has a visible light transmission, which was 27.5%. The glass on its own has a visible light transmission, which was 73.5%. And the film installed on glass has a visible light transmission, which was 24.5%. There's a mathematical equation behind this whole process. The VLT of the film times the VLT of the glass equals the VLT of the film installed on glass. For example, if the film by itself has a VLT of 50% and the glass by itself has a VLT of 75%, the net VLT is 50% times 75% or 35%. 35% is what we call net VLT, and that is how most states determine their tint law. So if you're trying to meet the legal requirement of a net 35% state tint law, the film must meter out to 35% or greater once installed on a car's glass. The best way to validate compliance with the state law is to meter out every installation to verify that the minimum VLT requirement is met. A handful of states have film tint laws rather than net. A film law means that the film inside the box, before it is installed on glass, must meter a certain percentage. This is a much easier tint law to understand because you're not having to take into consideration the VLT of the car's glass. And keep in mind, not every piece of automotive glass is the same VLT. So why do states have net tint laws when it is more complex than a film law? It is the goal of the state to make sure that the finished product of film installed on a given piece of glass maintains a certain light transmission for safety. Given that automotive glass varies in darkness from car to car, from manufacturer to manufacturer, only a net law will accomplish the state's goal. Here is an example. The first piece of automotive glass I measured had a VLT of 73.5%. Let's try another piece. This piece measures out to 71.7%. Do you see the difference? That is why states have net tint laws. It is also easier for the consumer when he or she requests a state legal film. What he is saying is that he wants a film that puts him right at that legal limit. No lighter, no darker. A few states do have a tolerance level, meaning that they will allow the film or the film installed on glass to be a bit darker than the law, recognizing that there is variability in film, glass, and metering equipment. Now, if that wasn't confusing enough, let me explain how 3M labels its automotive window films. 3M Crystalline and 3M Color Stable are labeled by their visible light transmission out of the box. So if you meter a piece of 3M Color Stable 50, it will meter to around 50%. 3M Obsidian and 3M Ceramic IR are labeled by their visible light transmission on 75% automotive glass. So if you meter 3M Ceramic IR 50 out of the box, it will meter above 50%, so that when it's installed on 75% automotive glass, will meter right around 50%. If you would like to learn more, please contact your EPD sales representative. We're always happy to assist you.